What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. We have got quite a few here. Let's run through the list. We're going to start things off with Albert here with a brick, the blinkies, and then what else do we have? Quite a few here. We are going to move on and wrap up number 314 there that we looked at towards the end of yesterday's stream with quite a lot of catastrophic damage from an exploded capacitor corroding all sorts of stuff inside. But yeah, we will get a replacement amp put in there and that should take care of that. We've got Randall. They have no power. We have an anonymous no power, number 325. And another anonymous one, number 282. Another anonymous one, number 340. Jose with no power. And Ed with some DC offset symptoms, so it seems. Alright, let's start with Albert's Blinky HomePod here. Yes, HomePod OS 18.3 was just released, and I just finished building the IPSW for these few minutes before starting our stream here, so I haven't even had the chance to see if it successfully restores or not. 18.2 is still being signed for the moment, so if it doesn't work, we have a fallback for now. But hopefully 18.3 is going to play nice with us, just like 18.2 did. There were a few people speculating SSV was going to interfere with how we do it, and it didn't. Okay, let me put myself in Do Not Disturb. Yep, I'm already there. Okay, and what's my IP address? It hasn't changed. Alright, we are live from the laptop. Let's give it our best here. I have actually, welcome Paybro, welcome. I don't have any idea what's new in 18.3, I have not a clue. But let's see if it can be restored with. I should have 18.3, yep, built here. Why is it not seeing it? Oh, because I'm already in the folder. There we go. Fingers crossed that this is not a hardware issue that caused its bricked condition, and fingers crossed that 18.3 is something that we can restore with. Also, cheers. Ooh. Okay, device failed to enter restore mode. Make sure USB MUXD is running. This is an error that I've seen plenty of times, unfortunately caused by a hardware issue. Just for kicks, we are going to make sure that it's not an 18.3 thing, and we will try 18.2 while we still can. Oh, well, it's because I'm still in that directory. Okay. I have a strong feeling this one is a hardware issue, though. Which one is this? 292? Okay. Same exact error with a version of the software that we know works while it is still being signed. So unfortunately, that means for this one, it is not so easy as just a software problem that can be cured with a USB adapter. So this one will need a new logic board. Unfortunately, I don't have any black HomePod logic boards ready to go at the moment. So they've got a few options. They can hang tight for a day or two for me to, well, it'll probably be 2 or 3 days at least for me to get a few more working black boards put together. Or if they don't care, I can stick a logic board in from a white HomePod. It'll all work all the same. It just shows as a black or white HomePod when you first set it up. Some people care, some people don't. I personally don't. But it's not my call. It's not my HomePod. Let's see, we've got number 314 here. Let's let them know that they're up next. All right. We will have another opportunity to try 18.3, but for now, we have got some stuff to fix here. With other problems. Here we've got number 314. This one was really interesting. We tried saving it. Unfortunately, the power supply had a big oopsie on the big cap and exploded all over everything and caused a bunch of corrosion. And unfortunately, along with that, it ate away too much, and it seems to have caused more damage than we can notice at a glance here. It's basically going to take more time and effort than we can really sink into it reasonably right now. Maybe one day when we get more desperate for amplifier boards, we'll sink more time into it, but not here and now. What we are going to do is secure ourselves another amplifier board that we can use for number 314 here. Let's see what's wrong with this one. Actually, nothing's wrong with this one. Turns right on. Chances are this just has the blinkies. This is one that I bought for myself for parts from someone somewhere, eBay, Goodwill. Someone that emails me.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Seems to work just fine, actually. Maybe they just didn't know how to reset it. I've gotten plenty of those where people think they don't work just because they couldn't figure out how to reset it, and all it does is complain about being unable to connect to the Wi-Fi. I do kind of feel bad when I get those, and I'll usually reach back out to people and be like, hey, I can send this back for a refund if you want it. Here's how you fix it. And usually people don't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, I've moved on. Also, luckily, with number 314 here, all of the damage was contained and sealed inside. So yeah, I have to replace the whole amplifier board, and the power supply. But, I mean, if there's one part that I have plenty of, it's those power supplies. I can spare a few of those. It's the amplifier boards that hurt a little bit, but we're prepared for it. That's what we're here for. Actually, I'm going to use these screws because I used the other screws already. Let's see, you opted for the reset without an update. I was going to say we'll try the 18.3 update on number 314's HomePod here, but they do not want us to update their HomePods, so we will oblige and we will pick on someone else's HomePod in this stream today to attempt an 18.3 restore over USB. A perfectly good logic board for a white HomePod. And this mesh is in fairly good shape too. It'll clean up real easy. I'll just peel it off sometime and stick it in the sink. All the way from Italy, dang. Kinda jealous. I would ask you to take us with you, but I would be way too afraid of how many HomePods would be waiting for me back at home when I got back. Alright, this one is not opening. I'm about to get mad and rip this sucker off. Oh. Anger makes you dumber, folks. Kurt, welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Should I be avoiding plugging and unplugging them? Nah. Nah, not at all. For like the first year we were fixing HomePods, we used the same logic board to power on and test every single repairs amplifier board out of the HomePod. It got to the point where we didn't need to test everything separated. We got good enough to just fix it, put it together, and test it with it put together. But for the first year, we would take it apart, fix it, and then test it while it was apart before putting it back together. And I would use one of my logic boards to power on the amplifier, just in case it fries a logic board. I'd rather it fry my logic board than the customer's. So that logic board, my test logic board, must have been powered off and on thousands of times. And I only ever had an issue when I mishandled it one day. I think I had like ESD buildup and zapped it and totally killed its sound output. There's no chance that would happen with you just unplugging it and plugging it into power. That was me handling the bare logic board like a doofus. So, no, I would not worry about, and not most people, but there are a lot of people out there that stick their HomePods on smart outlets on a schedule that just automatically shuts them off every night or whenever they're not home. They're worried about it catching on fire while they're gone. I don't blame them. Alright, we've gotten ourselves an amplifier worthy of number 314 here. Let's take a look-see and give it a little quick refurbishment. Let's start with some new filters first. And then we'll see if it needs a new Schottky diode too. Chances are. Why do we replace these filters? Because they are ceramic capacitors and all ceramic caps go bad over time whether they're being used or not. Here in this particular part in HomePods, it is used for DC offset filtering from the Class D audio amplifier. When these go bad, you get death farts and all sorts of bass issues. Well, I'm not saying HomePods have any good chance of catching on fire. I'm just I don't blame some people's paranoia around electronics in general. I personally, you won't catch me doing that. I leave all of my stuff on all the time. I have considered it though. But startup and shutdown tend to be the most stressful times for an electronic device. Heating and cooling, expanding and contracting is what causes the most issues. It's like you used to hear people saying, like, don't turn off your LCD monitor, just leave it on all the time, otherwise you'll kill your capacitors, because the heating and cooling cycles apparently killed them faster. I don't know how much of that's really true, but it was definitely a thing that people talked about. Alright. Some fancy fresh new filters on there. Ooh, and we do need a new Schottky diode too. We'll get that replaced. We don't want this failing and causing no power issues. And we know those date codes, or rather, those diodes in those date ranges are the ones that fail and cause that issue. Yeah, same idea with the ballasts and the fluorescent lighting. One amplifier board, fresh off the repair bench. We already cleaned the rest of this out. Thankfully the microphone board seems to have survived. Not like I'm too short on those, but what's new in 18.3? I do not even know yet. I only found out 18.3 was released when I got home from work today. And everyone was like, hey, should I update to 18.3? Hey, can I update to 18.3? I don't know. I didn't even realize it came out yet. Yeah, I'm not sure. Have any of you guys updated to it yet? I accidentally updated a couple of customers' HomePods to it before shipping them out today. You know, people have the option for me to reset and update their HomePod before we ship it back, and I don't have a choice what version it goes to. It goes to the latest version Apple is signing at the moment, which is now is 18.3. And that's what they got. There we go. We've got their power back. We can't use them as a guinea pig for 18.3. We will use Randall. Randall opted to get reset and updated, so we will try that out on theirs. Let's let them know that they're up next. And after Randall, we've got number 325. Let's see who that was. Cool.
Tengo dificultades para
conectar. Yep.
Tengo dificultades.
Something about not being able to connect to the Wi-Fi, I presume. But we got that all fixed up without a problem. Alright, Randall is up next here. Randall with no power. Oh. Excuse me. Let's see what we've got. No lights, no power, a couple of watts from the wall, according to our kilowatt meter over here. That all looks like the usual dead diode on the amplifier board. I can tell by the way it is. Now, more like that power draw from the wall tells us a lot about what's going on inside. Like, if we're seeing a few watts from the wall, it's definitely a short. If we're not seeing any power draw from the wall, there's almost certainly a blown fuse, or like we saw in number 314 previously, a whole lot of corrosion that caused a whole lot of damage. And beyond that, we can usually tell which component has shorted out based on the amount of power that's being drawn. For example, the logic board only pulls a few watts, but the amplifier board pulls 4 to 8 watts when the diode goes. And that's usually what we see here, is that diode on the amp. And we usually only see them failing because of a quality control issue with the particular diodes, a certain date range of them to be specific. It's not like all of them in every HomePod are going to fail. Only a certain date range of those diodes are going to fail. So only some of you need to worry. No, there is no sense in paying or wasting your time ripping your HomePod apart if it still works fine. Most of these issues, if you don't ignore them when they do happen, don't cost any more time or effort or money to prevent than they do to fix when they do happen. So you may not even have any bad parts in there that'll fail. No sense ripping a perfectly good speaker apart. Paulson, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, you're telling me. We've been at it for more than 3 years now, and we've fixed well over 3,000 of them. With no end in sight. If anything, we're as busy as we've ever been these past few months, and it just hasn't been slowing down. Oh no, I think this is quite alright if you ask me, Randall. We've had far worse here. And we had, I think 12 or 13 show up today, but we won't have the time for all of them. We're just going to try to fix as many as we can until like 4 o'clock our time. It's 2:40 now, so we got another hour and a half-ish. So we could probably fix 3 or 4 more in that time. Do I repair everything up or just HomePods? I mostly focus on HomePods. I'll fix anything anybody's willing to send in where there isn't already a shop out there specializing in it. That's why we fix HomePods. There wasn't anyone out there fixing these, let alone anyone that even knew how to fix their issues. I took it as a challenge. Everyone was like, oh, these are so unfixable. Oh, the issues that we've been able to diagnose, we can't fix it. No, I doubt that. A human made it, a human can do whatever they want to it, be it fix it, modify it. There is a way. The big question is whether that way is practical or not. And that was, that took a while to figure out, but we got there. Here we are. Making 20 minutes out of a repair that used to take people 3 to 4 hours just to take apart. Oh yeah, most of these are mail-ins. We get a couple of drop-offs a month. Local people that live nearby. Get a couple of people driving down from Canada too. We're not too far from the border. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive from here. Alright. Let's get these filters replaced. This will keep this amplifier happy and healthy with a clean audio output. No one wanted DC offset to fry our amp and subwoofer. These go bad because they're ceramics, and all ceramic caps go bad over time, whether they're being used or not. Alright, what do you folks say? Tell you what, in the time it would take us to try to restore somebody's HomePod to 18.3 via USB, we could probably fix another HomePod. So what would you guys rather see today? Would you rather see me try to restore a HomePod to 18.3 over USB? Or do you want us to try to fix as many of these as we can in one sitting? My life is in your hands. My life and I suppose Randall's HomePod is in your folks' hands here. Because if you want us to try it, I'm going to try it on Randall's. And, I mean, realistically, no risk yet. We can always flash 18.2 to it, since it's still being signed for now. But I want to try it while we have that fallback, before they take 18.2 down. The tool. You want to see the tool. Here is my USB adapter for the first gen HomePods. I've got a few more photos and how-tos and what have yous on my website. If you go to nixfix.com, click the shop link at the top, and there you go. That'll give you some details and bigger photos. You can also 3D print your own at home if you want to try. Not the easiest thing to do, but it's there for folks that want to try. The sounds of HomePod repairs played on a HomePod. Like feeding chicken to a chicken. I pulled out a fresh pair of tweezers and oh boy. What broke on these HomePods? This diode in particular is what failed, and it's going to be the same diode on most of these HomePod fixes today. Only failed due to a batch of them floating around that are bad. We get it replaced with a brand new, bigger, better, stronger, higher quality diode that certainly won't fail on them again. These diodes don't normally just fail like this. They usually have to have a reason to fail. Alright, calm down. One day I'll find a replacement fan for that heat gun, if I don't just replace the whole thing. $60 Amazon deal. House fire. House fire waiting to happen. Joseph the Lurker says we should try to fix as many as we can. Do I still do dyeing services for HomePods? Yes, I do. Have I ever dyed a V2? No, I have not. I absolutely could. I just haven't had anybody ask yet. Well, it looks like we're going to keep fixing HomePods. There is no opposition, and Joseph said fix as many as you can. I will try an 18.3 restore on my own. And if you're curious about 18.3 and restoring it over USB, to your HomePod. You want to know the results? I'm going to test it out after my stream today, and I'll share the results on my Discord server and post a link for it if it works. If it doesn't work, then it's we'll have to figure out why before 18.2 goes away. How long do you think we'll receive updates for the V1? That is a good question. It's hard to say because, frankly, I think we are already well past the amount of software updates I think they were going to get, or I thought they were going to get. I thought they were going to stop around 16 or 17. I'm surprised they even got 18 too. Like, even more so. I'll be surprised if they get 19. I say that because they are essentially an iPhone 6. An iPhone 6 with a built-in power supply, no screen, no battery, a big amp and some big speakers. And the iPhone 6 was killed off a long time ago. Software support for that ended a while ago. So I assumed when they killed off iPhone 6 software support, they were going to kill off the HomePod support too, but that is not the case. So I don't know. All over a diode that costs like $1. All over something that chances are they knew before we knew. But still, to put things into perspective, if they sold 1.5 to 3 million of these units, we could easily see 15 to 30,000 of these failures before there's an actually concerning amount of failure rates for these. We're still well within what's considered normal failure rates for a mass-produced consumer electronic. That said, I mean, the failures that these do have, it's unfortunate that it's so obviously a quality control issue with a particular component, and yet we get stuck with it. No, Mike, leave it alone. No. I'm glad you like it. It turned out very well for what it is. I'm surprised that I just had it sitting around for so long. What you might be able to do is, if you take the logic board out and spray paint it red, it might show up red on your phone when you go to set it up. But another option too is you could also just paint your phone screen red. That'll have the same effect, really. Oh, my black HomePod shows as a white HomePod. My white HomePod shows as a black HomePod. It's the end of the world. You know, folks, a year or two ago when we couldn't just plug a USB cable into these and restore their software, the fix for it was $100+ hardware repair. I replaced the whole logic board, and you had no choice what color you got. Back in the day, you got what you got. All right. Let's let our next repair know they're, well, up next. 282.
I'm having trouble connecting to the... I'm having trouble connecting.
All right. On to the next one. Number 325 here with no power. After that, we've got number 282. Here we go. No lights, no power. The same power draw as Randall's there. here we go. It's going to be the same problem and it's going to be the same fix. Yeah, Siri, oops, well, I guess I said her name already. Yeah, she can be special. And that can be quite the workout. Yeah, just make sure that the water is definitely boiling first. Because if you don't, it'll mess it up. And if you wanna dry it off quicker, you can plug it in and turn it on, and the heat should dry it out a lot quicker for you. And I don't want to see aftermath photos posted to HomePod support channel asking how to fix any problems that arise. Subwoofer looks to be in great shape. First up, a little bit of maintenance to prevent common issues like death farts and no bass. Since these are ceramic capacitors and they naturally decay over time whether they're being used or not, we'll go ahead and replace them before they cause issues. Alan, excellent, great to hear, yes, yes. I mean, I'm not surprised. Of course it's got bass again. Of course it does. I never doubted myself for one moment. Man, the way that UPS and USPS handle packages sometimes, you never know though. That's what insurance is for. If I gotta pay to have someone ship their HomePod back because it got mishandled in shipping, you bet I'm claiming it. Oh, they were so perfect too, and then I go and bump them. How often would you say they get damaged on the way back? It's really not all that often. It's only probably one every few hundred, maybe. It's usually on the way to us that we see the most damage because people just don't quite have the feel for the best way to pack these things. Okay, I think we've roasted that enough. We've got some perfectly lined up filters on there. Let's get our 46K data diode out of there, of course. Will you receive an email today? Maybe. I will make my best effort to catch up on emails today. But in any case, we'll make sure that we can get your HomePod shipped out tomorrow. Unless, I mean, if you're not in a rush, since I don't know if you're going to be home by the time we'd ship it out and it'd get back to you. We'll figure it out, though. I don't have any room to keep people's HomePods. I gotta fix them and get them out of here. Make room for more. As much as I want your HomePod, if you're not giving it to me or selling it to me, I don't want it. I'll fix it. But get it out of here. My house has been consumed entirely by shipping boxes from people's repairs. I never thought we'd get to this point. I thought it'd always be a casual thing, 1 or 2 every day or so. I didn't think it'd get to this point, 10 to 15 a day. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This far after they've been released, discontinued, and soon to be declared vintage even, we're the busiest we've ever been. 3 years after starting all of this? Get out of here. How? Bonkers. Crazy, insane, cuckoo. But absolutely awesome for us, at least. It's a bittersweet success for us because it essentially rides on Apple not doing anything about these issues for their customers. And no matter how you look at it, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. But I can't do this for free for folks. If the government would pay me to sit here all day and fix HomePods for people, I would love to. I would love to do that. Can I fix an old fat PS3 with the yellow light of death? Flexor, welcome. Thank you for the question. I'm not actually familiar off the top of my head what the yellow light of death is on the PS3. I would have to look into that unless anybody wants to give me the quick rundown in the chat. What that failure typically means or what that kind of repair involves. But I would, I mean, with everything, I love to give a tentative yes, but let me look into it and see if we can do that for you, and I would be more than happy to take something other than a HomePod here for repair. But it wouldn't be the first non-HomePod thing we've worked on here. We've had quite a few stuffs, quite a lot of thingies. And actually, in the next day or two, we should have a Steam Deck showing up for a shelf swap. About a year or so ago, we had somebody send in their Steam Deck for no power, and it ended up needing just a new USB-C port. That was a fun repair. Absolutely enthralling when we figured it out. It's always fun to take our hand at a fresh new repair and figure it out and fix it the first time. You know, you do a few thousand of these HomePods and the thrill of the fix kind of fades away a little bit. I want something fresh. They say you have to reflow the GPU. Oh, okay. That sounds like a fairly common issue. Chances are there are tools available for that kind of thing. I would be more than happy to take that on. Because, I mean, I can't imagine a BGA stencil for a PlayStation 3 would be too hard or expensive to find. It wouldn't be our first BGA we've done. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a lot easier to get that GPU off of a PlayStation 3 motherboard, since it's not glued to the board all around with this silicone like the NAND on these logic boards are. Feel free to shoot me an email, nick@nicksfix.com. I suggest going to my website and finding my contact info there so you don't typo it. It's not N-I-C-K, it's NIC@nicksfix.com. But shoot me an email with what you've got. I would love to take a look at that for you. Oh, you like my Hello Kitty sweater? I put this on today specifically for Mike. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. making sure that I caught when the washer ended so that I could stick it in the dryer so that I could wear it on today's stream just for you, Mike. There it is. We got our power back. And I think number 282 here is going to be all that we've got time for after this. Excuse me. Oh, you were talking about the HomePods? You don't like my Hello Kitty sweater? Fine. I see how it is, man. Okay, you do like it. Cool. We're cool again.
I'm having trouble connecting.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Yeah, that's right. Be quiet. All right. Another super happy, fine and dandy Apple HomePod. Here we've got number 282 here. Let's get their name up on the screen. Let's see, 40, no, actually we might have time for one more after this. Nah, I'd rather try an 18.3 restore. We've got no lights, no power, 7 watts of power draw there. Here we go. Probably another dead diode. Is it possible to add a dock to the HomePod similar to the old Beats box where you could dock an iPhone? Unfortunately, not practically possible. I mean, anything is possible, but the best that we've got is the USB dock for these that lets you plug it into your computer and use it as a USB speaker. Only works on Macs. We haven't figured out how to get it working on Windows, but it works with a Mac, and it's as close to a dock as you'll get for this thing for now. Only gives you USB into the HomePod though. Making a docking interface that talks to the HomePod and making that work with an iPod would be quite a non-trivial task. Well above my current knowledge and expertise to accomplish. Never thought about that before. It'd be really cool to have like a cutout in the top and you just stick your iPod in, like the old Apple Hi-Fi. And you can skip all the Wi-Fi, all the AirPlay, and just play the music straight from your iPod. Fitting a PS5 controller into an Xbox controller. You know, for a second there I thought you were messing with me, but that actually kind of makes sense. I mean, I get you. I like the form factor of the Xbox controller. I like the layout more than PlayStation. But such a product already exists. So while it's possible, yet again, it's not really practical for me to do that. And there's already products out there that do that. Oh no, I welcome all the questions. I'd rather answer a bunch of questions that I've never gotten before than sit here and fix in silence. And to each their own. We get all sorts of people come tune in here to watch us fix stuff. Some people do it for, oh, they call us like the ASMR of tech repair. So I like to give everybody a little bit of something. Sometimes I like to just shut up and focus on fixes and give people nothing but the sweet sounds of my dental drill here. Yes. And sometimes I love to talk my head off. But most of that usually depends on the crowd for the day. And we've got a pretty cool crowd with us here now, at least. Ooh, never mind the folks from the other day. They were just a bunch of grubs. I'm not even kidding, too. It was like my most disliked live stream. We didn't even do anything different. And just out of nowhere, I got a bunch of dislikes on it. I don't really care. It doesn't make a difference of anything. And, like, I guess these days nobody can see the freaking dislikes on it anyways. There's that Chrome extension or what have you, but... Oh. Thank you for the sub. I'll be sure to let you down plenty of times. Here we go. Our infamous filters for all things DC voltage. Let's get those replaced so that way this amp doesn't have any death farts or bass issues down the road. Water-cooled Xbox? I think people have done that. I wouldn't be the first if I did. It's perfectly that would be fairly practical to do. Because you can get off-the-shelf water blocks and brackets that would fit the chipset of the Xbox. And then simply cut a hole in the side to mount the radiator. Tap into the power supply for power. You're golden. Fan curves would be a little tricky to figure out, but I imagine it would be more efficient than the fan and heatsink that it has by itself, so maybe that wouldn't be a problem and you could just keep it at low speed all the time. It would be perfectly fine. If anybody wants to buy me an Xbox One X to try this out, I would love to try that out. The latest console that I currently own, if you don't count my first-gen Nintendo Switch, would be my Xbox 360. Actually, it's my wife's 360. My Xbox 360 was taken back by my dad a long time ago. I modded it. I painted the case red, I stuck a blue LED fan to the side, and then they took it. They took it from me. Well, okay, to be fair, it wasn't really mine to begin with. It was really my mom's. My mom stood in line for the midnight release of Halo 3 to get her Legendary Edition. I guess my mom is not the typical mom. She was a gamer. She was a gamer before gamer moms were a thing. we'd go to youth group and we'd bring the Xbox and Halo 2 or Halo 3 with us. We'd load up rockets on Ascension. Oh, buddy. What a time. My dad had the legit, like, Full Metal Dance Dance Revolution arcade. We had that set up at our church too. Good times. Now, water cooling an Xbox, easy peasy. What I want to try, water cooling an Xbox controller. Can you imagine? No more sweaty palms. We've got cooled gaming mice. We've got cooled all sorts of cooled gaming peripherals, but we don't have a cooled gaming joystick. PlayStation and Xbox all in one? Once again, we wouldn't be the first. We wouldn't be the first, but that would be one of the easier things to do for sure. Heck, if I'm not mistaken, there are even portable versions that it's like a suitcase or like a briefcase, but it's got a built-in PlayStation and Xbox and oh man, the works. Beautiful. Alright, this is the last one that we've got time for today, number 340 with no power. Lucky last number 340. Well, let's see what it's got in store for us here. No lights, no power, a couple of watts from the wall. That all looks like the exact same dead diode on the amp issue that we've been knocking out all day today. Let's dig in. I swear, the black ones are just easier to take apart. They don't stick together as much. You don't want to use the electric screwdriver on those screws around the amplifier because you can easily strip them or slip your screwdriver and cause more issues. We like to go full manual for the amplifier screws, all 14 of them. Beautiful. And now for that dead diode. For 8K dated, of course. time. How long did that one take? That might have been a personal best record right there. Full teardown, filters, diode, full reassembly, first try. That might have been the fastest run I've done yet. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. Oof. But, folks, that is all that we've got the time for here and now. We've, of course, always got more that needs to get fixed. More that's waiting. Tell me something. Show me something. I'll give it a second. I'll give it a fair shot. Talk to me. Say something.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Yes. Yes. Alright. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I hope to catch you in the next one.